Hi there. Welcome to week 6 of the Epidemiology of Substance Use Disorders. This week we're going to talk about the effects of alcohol and drugs, otherwise known as alcohol and drug consequences or alcohol and drug-related problems. The reason why this topic is so important is, number one, because the substances that we've been talking about, mainly in terms of their use patterns, cause real harm to real people as well as to society at large. As a function of the harm that they cause, the problems connected with alcohol and drugs are often cited as the main reason for treatment and prevention programs and for research studies and for policies. So epidemiology's role is to identify, document, and establish the causal mechanisms that lead from drug use to drug problems and from alcohol use to alcohol-related problems. These causal mechanisms are often misinterpreted, and they're very complex, and what we'll be trying to sort out is how you can understand what causes problems in substance use when many people don't develop problems at all. It's a fascinating area of study in terms of its complexity and its relevance to understanding everyday life and especially social behavior. The problems of alcohol and drugs can be disaggregated into major categories: biomedical, psychological, social, economic, also according to the dependence potential of a particular drug and its overdose risk. And finally, we're going to be introducing a new topic that is coming into epidemiology, which is called harm to others. It's not just the harm done to the person using the substances, but it's the harm done to the people around them and to society at large. To give you an idea of the complexity that we're dealing with, let's take a situation which actually happened to me. Two people are in a bar. One of them is drunk. The other had maybe a beer or two and walks out. I'm the guy who had a beer or two and walked out. I got into my car and drove down to the next traffic light. At the traffic light, as I was waiting, I hear a screech behind me. In fact, I was driving a car with a engine in the rear. Then I heard a crash. Then my head jerked back, and I almost went unconscious. I got out of the car, and I saw my engine smoking. And another guy gets out of a car who had been in the same bar and walks up to me. He was obviously drunk. I went into a phone booth, tried to call the police. He got into the phone booth with me. He was totally disoriented. What are the harms that were caused to me and to other people? Well, the perpetrator, the guy who crashed into me, had lacerations on his face. He had legal problems. He was deprived of his transportation because his car was totally wrecked. There were financial losses, most likely, missed work and school from this individual, as well as anxiety and depression. What about the victim? That was me. I had whiplash, no transportation, financial losses, missed school because of lack of transportation, and anxiety and other problems. The perpetrator's family and friends and co-workers were likely affected as well, having to provide him with transportation assistance and perhaps dealing with his inability to get to work, as well as treatment and legal problems, and conceivably, if he was married, the effect on his spouse and children. So one incidence of alcohol-related harm has this ripple effect of harm to the individual as well as people around them and to society at large. So let's get started.